Good morning. Welcome to C3. My name's Alicia Miller. I am our Cross Kids Director, and I am going to start off by saying that my family and I, we are not super excited about this Super Bowl this year because Green Bay didn't make it. We are just, we're going to watch just for the halftime show, the commercials. It's the entertainment, right? The food. But however, we are excited for the draft because the draft is kind of like a national holiday at our houses. For as long as I can remember, we get together, we hang out, we eat, and we watch the draft because we are excited to see who the next players are that's going to be drafted and playing for the team that we love. So I have actually good news for you guys today. You guys are all drafted because we are all part of God's team, and He has chosen you as a first round pick. It says in Acts 2:41, it says, those who accepted His message were baptized, and about 3,000 were added to their number that day. 3,000 were added to God's team that day. They heard the gospel, they accepted Jesus, and they were immediately added to God's team. But here's the key. Getting drafted is just the beginning, right? So once you're on the team, you've got to be ready and in position to play. Joining a team isn't just about wearing a jersey, right? Like there's so much more to it. It's about being committed. We have a really awesome team here at C3, and I want to recognize them because, I'm just going to go through a few. I hope I don't miss any, but you have Cross Kids, you have Next Level, you have the cleaning crew, you have the sound booth, you have the band, you have Kids Club, you have, the awesome people that make the men and women who plan the meals here at C3. Like, we have an amazing team here, and they all play their part. They play their position. Guys, go ahead and stand up for me today. If you volunteer here at C3 Cross Kids, any area, I want you to stand up, and we are going to give you a round of applause because you deserve it. I am super proud to be part of this team. Okay, so now that we know how awesome our team here is at C3 and to be part of God's team, I want to talk about being ready and being in position. You know, when you have a football team, if they're just doing whatever they want, if they're just going by just not following the rules, not following the plays, it's absolute chaos, right? But when you have everybody ready and in position to play, big things happen. So we actually have, I just talked about how awesome our team was, but I'm going to point out a specific player, Eric Fields. A few months back, I called him and I was like, hey, we have a C3er who I just talked to that has a leak in their roof. And you know anybody that can fix it? Because he is Mr. Fix-It, but I just figured he knew somebody. Guys, I'm not even kidding when he said, what's the address? I'm going there today, I'm going to fix it. Eric could have easily said, here's some phone numbers, I know some guys, we'll get in touch with him. But no, he chose to be ready and in position, and he changed that C3er's world that day. Because it was a big deal. And we are all part of God's team. And not all of us can fix a leak. Not everybody can fix a leak. We can't all climb up on a roof, but we can all play a part. We can all play a part and a role on the team in helping others. So, we are all part of God's team, and He is calling us into the game right now. The question is, are you ready to step up, get in position, and play your part?
We got our first touchdown of the game. Congratulations. That's going to take us to the end of the first quarter.
All right. Okay, hold on. I was on the wrong. Hold on. Let me get it. My iPad's doing something weird. I got it. Give me a second. Look, I got it. I'm up. I got it. All right. Back off. Okay. All right. My name's Aaron, and first part coming up for a black team. You guys got it? Where are my black teamers at this morning? All right. Yeah, we got this. All right, so here's the deal. So we just heard from Alicia talking about what it means to be a part of the team and how we get to be drafted into that. And we're actually a starter on that team. That's what's awesome. But now what you have is all these believers here, as you find in Acts, all right? They got 3,000 people who have just joined the team. And it's like, okay, awesome. Now what are we supposed to be doing? The most important thing for them now is the next step of understanding how they're able to live this life through Christ. How do they do it? They have to understand the playbook. Think about it. If you are a part of a team and you're going to be successful and you want to go and win games, you want to be getting better every single time, the only way you're going to be able to do that is if you know the plays, if you know what the whole point of it is. If you've ever gone into a game or they've asked you to go into a game and you don't know the plays, you're probably not going to stay in there very long because you're a detriment to what's happening, right? We have to know what this is all about. All of you this morning, as you're here in this place, why are you here? Why am I here? Why are we sitting up here playing this stupid Super Bowl game, right? Why are we doing all these things, right? There's a point in all this. We have to remember what the playbook is. There's a couple things that I want you guys to see. In Acts chapter 2, verse 42, after we have this great scene where people are getting baptized and 3,000 people all together, we hear this. They devoted themselves to the apostles' teaching and to fellowship, to the breaking of bread and to prayer. Big things that pop out here. Commitment to the apostles' teaching. They're talking about understanding what Jesus was teaching these disciples, what it was that he wanted them to remember. What it meant to love one another, what it meant to be unified, what it meant to be together and to help each other out. They had to learn and teach each other these things. And that's what we do here, right? You come here on a Sunday morning, you stand there and you listen to us for some reason. Why do we do that? It's so that we can learn and grow together. You guys who go and you're a part of groups and you have Bible studies and you get together and learn from that. Why are you doing that? Because there's something to being devoted to learning what it is Jesus wants us to do. The next one is commitment to what we like to call in the Bible Belt fellowship, right? Let's have some fellowship, right? Now, the reason that we use the word fellowship is because it actually comes from the Greek word koinonia. Do I get extra points for using Greek?
No.
No, okay, well, okay. Anyways, I'm going to use it. Koinonia, it literally means the fellowship of believers. It means that we are not just this social group. We are not just this interaction that we have from time to time, but it's actually a deep spiritual connection. There are many people in this room who can say that we have deep spiritual connections together because of who unites us, and that's who Jesus is. That's why we call this the gathering. That's why we call this the celebration, because of what Jesus did for us. And this one is a commitment that we all love to make, is the commitment of breaking bread, is the commitment of eating, right? I love getting some good food. Y'all get anything to eat on your way in this morning? Anybody? All right. Are we not just killing it in the game of feeding and having a good time together here the last couple weeks? It's been awesome. But that breakfast bowl last week, tell you, delicious, all right? Love everything about it. Why do we do those things? Because we are not just doing it because we want to eat together. We're doing it because we believe that there is something to breaking bread together. There's something about eating together and developing relationships that Jesus taught his disciples was a big deal. We have people in here who prepare this food. We have people who make sure those who are hungry go without, that they're able to be fed. We do these things because we show that there is actually something to that. And then the last one is commitment to prayer. Understanding that every single one of us are called and committed to praying for one another. And I'll tell you this. The year and a half that I have gone through, I have understood what it meant when people say that they're praying for you. When we talk about people praying for you in your own life, why do we say that? Because there is a commitment to understanding the playbook. So if we want to be successful, if we want to be the team that God is calling us out to be and to do something together and to unite each other, we have to be able to do those four things. Because when it comes down to it, they weren't just an inspired group, but they actually had a playbook. They had a plan. And those were devotion to God's word, deep community, shared worship, constant prayer, doing that for each one of us. Because when we do that, we don't just attend the church, but as we'll learn a little bit later, we actually become the church. And I'm done. What?
I got a flag on the play here. We got to delay a game.
Oh, come on.
All right, on to the third quarter, and glad you're here today. Just exciting time to do something different. And, watched a lot of football this year, and I unfortunately watched the Bills and the Chiefs, and I was rooting for the Bills, and we know how that turned out, as you're aware of who's playing in the Super Bowl tonight. Well, as they were playing, one of the important things that I noticed, they were getting down to the end, and the Bills had a chance to kind of come back and possibly win the game. I think it was a fourth down play, and the camera pans in on the huddle. And the huddle is this time when the team comes together and they decide, what is the play that's coming in? And as they were showing the faces of those that were there, I was asking myself the question, can I see it on their face? Do they believe that the play that's coming in is going to help them to achieve their goal, to get that first down, or even possibly even get that touchdown? You see, it's so important about that huddle and coming together, but also about the belief, that belief. You see, in Acts 2:44 through 45, as Aaron has already talked about, in the early church, it continues on and explains a little bit more about what they did when they actually came together. In 44, it says, "And all who believed were together, and they had all things in common. They were selling their possessions and belongings and distributing the proceeds to all as any had need." You see, the early church understood that coming together in this huddle was important. But not only about that, but what are we doing here together? What did they believe? And what they believed was that if Jesus was the Christ, the King, who he said he was, then that means we should believe in his word, the play that's coming into this huddle. And it was Jesus calling those plays and saying, listen, if you're going to be my followers, if you're going to live out this life, if you want life eternal, if you're going to do, great things in this world and live life to its fullest, then you're going to believe the plays that I called. And so the church came together in this huddle and they said, what does this look like? What does it look like when this play comes in for us? And that play was to love one another. And so they sold the things that they said, hey, we don't need these attachments, but we're going to take care of those that are around us. We're going to take care of our church. We're going to take care of our brothers and our sisters and those that we see with need. And so they responded. The belief moved from just a belief, but to an action. And so in life, the challenge for us today is, what do we believe? We can come together as a huddle, whether it's here in a service like this or a small group or whatever those other huddles that we have as a faith community. But the question is, do we believe those words and that we're going to live those words out? And how does that look in our lives? What is that actions that we're going to put into practice? You see, it's about us being a part of a team. So many times we want to put it just on ourselves to try and do this, but guess what? We don't have to do it all on our own. We've got a team, a body of believers. And with us all doing this together, we can live this out. You see, Mia Hamm, a famous athlete, Olympian, she said this quote, and I loved it. It says, "I'm a member of a team. I rely on my team, but I defer to the team and sacrifice for it, because the team, not the individual, is the ultimate champion." You see, for us in our lives, it's about us as a community. You don't have to do all this on your own. This is what the huddle of believers is about. It's about us coming together and working together and living life together. And that's what the early church did. And it's about us nourishing and helping each of us in all of our relationships and meeting people's needs. As Alicia's already talked about, people that have done that in different ways. And that's what our responsibility is. But we've got to come together. We've got to come together in the huddle to do that. And we also have to believe in that. So let's do this life together, and let's live this out together as a body of believers in this community.
Yeah. All right. All right. And Team Black answers back. Touchdown.
Sorry, yeah, there we go.
Okay.
I need a timeout, real quick. Timeout. Okay.
Timeout,
Now,
Alex.
I got to share something with you guys. Some of you are like, I heard a guy tell me earlier. He's like, "Oh, we're doing Super Bowl preaching 2 times, our first and our last." Probably, yeah. But I wanted to share. I told these guys, I said, I want the fourth quarter because I'm the only one who actually played high school football. Alicia was flag corps, majorette. Matt was a baseball guy. So what I wanted to share with you guys today, just proof of this to see what kind of stud I was. Okay, that's number 24 Trent Carpenter in high school. Okay, now, yeah, thank you. Yeah, I will take that applause. But let me tell you the bad part of this, okay? I was like, Jonda, my wife, who's back here, I said, I need a picture of me put on stage from high school. Do we have any? Because we don't have any pictures of me hardly. And we start looking through and we finally find one. I'm like, good, I'm gonna go put that on the computer. We'll do this. This is like at the first of the week. Can I tell you guys the bad part though? I walked by on like a Wednesday and my wife's on her phone and I walk by and she covers it. I'm like, she cheating on me? What's going on? I look on her phone, you know what she's looking at? She's looking at young Trent. She likes young, skinny, hot Trent, not fat, old, balloon Trent. So the reason I'm the only one that actually played high school football, I feel like I should be.
I played.
You played?
Yes, I played high school football.
Okay, mom's in.
Oh, yeah.
Scott?
There you go.
Can we find a picture of Aaron in uniform? Okay, all right. Yeah, you played. You played all right. You played. All right,
Okay,
let's start the
all
clock.
Okay. Let's get it on.
Okay.
Come on.
I really did though.
All right, so,
Ooh.
all right, real quick though, as we close, they've done a great job talking about Acts chapter 2, the early church. There's so much great stuff in Acts 2, 41 through 47. But I want to talk about the real win, super fast. The real win, the trophy. What are we really after? When we come here, what do we talk about during the week that's really the true win? Because the early church exploded. Like Alicia said, I mean, we're talking thousands and thousands of people believed it was an amazing thing. No Facebook, no TV, no social media, and it just blew up in the most awesome of ways. Why? Because they simply caught what Jesus taught. They simply caught on what Jesus was really teaching. They caught what Jesus taught. This is what it says in verse 46. It said, they worshiped together at the temple each day, met in homes for the Lord's Supper, and shared their meals with great joy and generosity. You see, they didn't believe in going to church. Now, I got to confess to you guys, and Aaron and Alicia both will tell you, this is my wife here. She'll tell you this is the most annoying thing I do. I do it all the time. If someone says to me, and my wife says, hey, well, we have to head to the church. What are you talking about? I act so confused with them. They know around me, they're not allowed to say, hey, we go to the church or at the church. Why? You can't, because we are the church. This building is just simply a place that the church gathers. You can't go to church when you are the church. And that's what these people understood. It wasn't something just to check off a box, religious Sunday box. Okay, I got it. Hopefully God's more happy with me. No, it was literally people coming together and say, we're going to do life. As Matt said, we're going to take care of each other. We're going to huddle. Our playbook is following what Jesus taught us. That's how they operated. So I want to give you just 2 things of how they won. The first is this. They got it. They got God's love. What do I mean by that? They truly understood that God was saying, no matter what you've done, I love you so much, I sacrificed my son so all of you could be forgiven forever, no matter what. Some of you walk in and you're like, Trent, if you only knew what I did last night. Some of you are like, last night, if you knew what I did this morning, if you knew what I did on my way here. And no, they got God's love. Look at verse 47. It says, all the while praising God. Now, I believe we're on God's team, as they said. But I think we have something way better. I think we're actually in God's family. You see, I don't view God as the kind of tough, rough high school football coach. I view God as an incredibly loving father. A father that says, I will do anything for you because I love you that much. I've coached football for years. I mean, years and years, basically since I've been out of high school. And I remember one year I coached with a guy, and he would always say, hey, you got to play fast. You got to play loose. He was telling him at halftime, loosen up, play. But he did something else. As soon as the kid made a mistake, as soon as he got over by me, he's like, you want me to bench you? Do you want to sit down? So one day we're in the coach's office. I said, Coach, no offense, you can't have both. You can't. And he's like, I know. But he'd always go back to play loose. And then he's yelling at him, I'm going to bench you. I'm going to pull you. So what I did, and this is not being a good assistant coach, I literally would go to all my players, DBs, different groups I coached. And before the game started, I would say this. One thing I would say, you're starting for a reason. I'd tell them all personally, you're starting for a reason. I chose you because you're the man. So listen to me. Who cares? Play loose. You see, I think for us, the beauty of the win is because we already have God's love, we don't have to earn it. I'm not trying to earn it every day. I just get to live in that, which leads to the second part. You see, if you get God's love, then you get to give God's love. You get to share that. That amazing love he has, the way he forgives, and it says in the last part of that verse, and enjoying the goodwill of all the people. You see, people this time saw how people forgave, how they loved, what they did, and because of that amazing love, you know what people said? I want in. We want to be part of what you guys are doing because it's that incredible. Now, I'll ask you a question today, okay? I'm not bashing the church, but I'm going to a little bit. In the Bible Belt, do you think people on the outside are like, I wish I could get in? Why? Why do they not? Maybe because all of us here have forgotten the true win. What's the win? Jesus said, hey, I didn't come here for you guys to make a point. I came to make followers of me who get love and give my Father's love. So when you get love, you get to give love. So the last thing, 20 seconds. The win's bigger than us. Tonight, KC, Philly, somebody's going to win the game. And you know what they're going to do? They're going to literally take the Lombardi trophy, okay? They're going to celebrate on the field with the fans go nuts. But then right after, you know what they're going to do? That week, they're going to take the trophy to the streets. You know what the church did? They took the win to the streets. That's what we're called to do. Be that love, show that love, and take the win to the streets.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey.